What up, what up, what up? It's your regular uptown Northwest DC rapper, Flex Mathews, aka the handsome grandson. This is Says Flex. Make sure you subscribing. Make sure you're following and doing all those things that make this message go a little further. You feel me? Thank y'all for hanging out with me. I apologize, I'm a little late, but I'm here eating on some fruit snacks. So yeah, I'm grown man eating on fruit snacks. That's important, right? That's interesting. The older I get, I realize I still kind of like majority of the things I liked as a kid. You know, I still like playing basketball. I still like playing football. I still love playing video games. My God, I play so many video games. So, I don't know. We're just grown up versions of the children forms of ourselves. Life has afforded us a couple tweaks here and there, but typically we're the same, you know? We're the same. I talk to my mom. I see some of the things she used to do. She tells me some of the things she used to do when she was a kid. And she still does some of those things, you know? So it's an interesting thing. It's an interesting thing. But anywho, I'm here. And we're gonna do something interesting, right? I'm gonna try to give y'all a little bit of a Flex Mathews backstory, right? Because there's a lot of like confusion and about where I'm from, where I'm born, where I was raised, this, that, and the third. And it's confusing because I think people have different ideas or speculations about what it means to be from a place. You feel me? So, like some people will say, hey, if you're born in a place, then that's where you're from. And then some people like, well, if you're raised in a place, wherever you're raised at, then that's where you're from. And where you're raised at may not necessarily be where you were born at. You feel me? So, I see I got one follower, one listener, one person in the room. Peace, peace. Make sure you subscribe and all that jazz. But it's interesting because it's like when you kind of narrow it down, I don't think anybody has a real answer. You feel me? They just have the answer that's real to them. So I'm 45. I was born in Augsburg. What up, Patricia? Andrea Sanchez. How you doing? Hi, how you doing? How you doing? So I was born in 1980. I'm 45, right? I'm born in 1980 in Augsburg, Bavaria, Germany, right? Hello. I was born in Augsburg, Bavaria, Germany. My dad was in the military, and my mom worked for the State Department or some government thing. I don't remember. Soy de Argentina. I don't know. What does that mean? I don't know. I'm not bilingual, so I don't know. No Espanol. I don't know what that means. Yeesh. I'm not too, I don't know. I just speak English and Ebonics. I speak Ebonics too. I don't know if you know what Ebonics is, but I speak Ebonics. Yeah, I mean. But yeah, I was born in 1980 on August 21st. Hello, Ashley. Hello, Ashley. I was born on August 21st, 1980. There's 5 kids in my family. I'm one child away from the baby, right? People call me Flex Mathews. That is my artist name. But the name that is on my birth certificate is Dathan Lewis Harbor. The name that's on my birth certificate is Dathan Lewis Harbor, but the stage name is it's me, Gabe. I know a ton of Gabes. I know a lot of Gabes. Which Gabe are you? I know it's me, Gabe. I know Mad Gabe. I know like a whole bunch of Gabes. I like I need you to be more specific on which Gabe you are. You dig? And I can't see your like profile picture. You know what I'm saying? So I can't see it. I can't see, you know. But both of my parents are preachers. My dad's a retired pastor, so to speak. Not retired, still doing pastoral work, you know, but not necessarily in a church right now. My mother's a minister. She travels around and preaches, does conferences and revivals, and ministers to people and families and women and things of that nature. So these are my kinfolk. These are my kinfolk. I come from a very musical family, a very musical family, a very artistic family. In my family, you only 2 things, right? Either you're a preacher or you're an artist of some sort. And sometimes you both, right? But either you're a preacher or you're an artist. So that's where, my dad used to play the drums. My mom used to sing, got offered a record deal one time and she turned it down. Um, but yeah, so that's just kind of where that is. And I stayed in Germany for 4 years. And then after Germany, my parents came to Washington, D.C. Stayed in D.C. for about a year, started going to school out here. And then we moved to Junction City, Kansas, where I spent a lot of time. Spent a lot of time in Kansas, probably from the age of 5 to the age of 14. Spent a whole lot of time in Kansas. It's hard to, but I don't really consider myself from Kansas. But if some people would say, "Hey, you're from Kansas," then I can ride with that. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Um, Stayed there for a while. That's where I learned to. That's why I started rapping and started to see a lot more about life. That's why I first seen like it's not the first time I seen a Confederate flag because I was a big Dukes of Hazzard fan as a kid. I used to love the Dukes of Hazzard as a kid, right? Used to love it, and they got the Confederate flag on their car, and I ain't know. It's just the Dukes of Hazzard. You feel me? And it wasn't until I got to the States, where I'm living in middle America, where I'm meeting people who are wearing that flag and constantly promoting the Confederate flag, and learning that, hey, these people don't like me. They don't like my skin. I haven't said nothing to them, but they don't like me. So that was my first time into that, and I was just like, oh, I didn't know those 2 things were like connected. When I was watching Dukes of Hazzard, I was 4. You feel me? When I got to the States, I was 5, and the age of 6 is when I started to make those correlations, those connections. I'm like, oh, so y'all are racist. You know, at the age of 6, I knew what racism was, but that was my first time encountering it. You feel me? So Kansas was a very formative time. All these places I'm about to name were formative for me, extremely formative for me because I learned a lot, met some cool people, met some bad people, met some educational people. Educational in terms of me and my walk of life and my journey and how I would proceed to move forward in life. Um, so I stayed in Kansas. That's where I first started. That's where I first started rapping. Um, that's where I first started just experimenting with music and being creative. And me and my cousins would make little rap tapes. We had a little tape recorder, and we would make little talk shows and stuff like that. Just kind of doing what we do, you know. I stayed there for a while, 94 to 95. Winter of 94, we moved to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Stayed in Sioux Falls, South Dakota to mid, about mid, mid halfway through 97. In South Dakota, I got a little deeper into rap, right? A little bit deeper. Not a lot deeper, but deeper. I was writing all the time. My brother, my man Seth McClure, was very influential just on my household in general. Solid individual, solid cat. I love that guy. Shout out to my man Seth McClure. Um, After 97, summer of 97, we moved back to DC. Stayed in DC for a little while. Stayed in DC for not a little while, for a while. And then we moved, no, a little while. Then we moved to Wheaton, Maryland. And once I got back to the DMV, that's when I got heavy into rap. Like heavy, right? By that time, I'm pushing, right? I'm pushing. Like, I want to be a rapper. I want to be a full time. I want to get a record deal. Like, I'm pushing at that time. I got about 20 verses. I got about 20 verses memorized. You know, I could freestyle if I felt like it. Wasn't really like my forte. I only freestyle when I ran out of verses. You feel me? But wasn't really my forte, you know. But I was cooking. I was moving forward. You know what I'm saying? What up, Max? Peace. I appreciate you, Max. Thanks, brother. I appreciate that. I'm talking about when I was 17 in high school, moving back to the DC area. And I was just diving, like I was at that time, right? I started rapping when I was 15. But when 17 hit, I'm like full steam ahead. Like, I'm writing every day. And then I meet some friends of mine who would turn out to be my best friends in the whole entire world. Bar none. Like, these are my guys, right? These are my guys. And these guys introduced me to freestyling the proper way, because I would just kick writtens and then I would freestyle. They would freestyle and maybe kick writtens. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Well, why would you freestyle if you got writtens? You know, so that was just something I was thinking about, you know. But they was freestyling. So I started freestyling. And once I really understood what freestyling was, I'm like, oh, why would I write anything? I'm just going to keep freestyling. So I became really in love and enchanted with freestyling. And I still wrote on a consistent basis. But I definitely became a heavy freestyler at the age of 17. And I haven't stopped freestyling since. Like, I don't freestyle. Since the pandemic, I hardly ever freestyle. Right? Now I'm at a place where I'm like, I don't really like to freestyle that much. Also, it's because I don't freestyle that much. You know, since I've been going to this event called Fresh Produce, I've been freestyling a lot more though, right? Like, I'm gonna go home and freestyle tonight. Like, I'm trying to do this thing where I freestyle 30 minutes a day. You know, like, really, like, lock in, play some beats, and just freestyle and see what happens. It's something that I find it helps, me as I move forward in my own creativity. You know, so 97, 99. I'm going hard. I'm going hard. I got me and my squad. I'm not gonna say I got my squad, but me and my squad, or my squad and I, or the squad I was with, we going hard. We doing MC battles. We freestyling every day. We going to my boy's house to write, to record, to make beats. He's making beats. We just cooking and cooking and cooking. You know, so we making moves, bro. Me and my boys are like linking up together, bro. We like gelling, like this, like it's moving how it's supposed to move, right? Then something happened. Not my fault, but something happened. Now I gotta move at the height, and I was devastated. I was crushed, cause I felt like, yo, me and my boys is clicking. Oh, we with it now. Like I really felt like we was on to something. And I got cut short. Had to leave. So I'm back in Kansas, right? 99. Stayed there for about 3 months. Bad idea to go there. Bad idea. End up moving back to South Dakota. Okay, that was a good idea. That was an okay idea. It was an okay idea, but it was the only thing that was left for me. It was an okay idea, but it was the only idea that I had, you know? So I'm there. I'm living with my sister and her family. I'm going to high school, whatever. Still in high school, right? Longer than I needed to be. You feel me? But I'm there. I'm moving and I'm grooving. You know, graduate high school around about 2001, 2002. I come back to DC for a wedding. And I just stayed. I just stayed. I ain't even leave. I ain't gonna hold you. I just stayed. Right? Because wasn't nothing for me in South Dakota. Wasn't nothing there for me. Trouble was there. Problematic situations. There was just nothing there. So I stayed in the city at my grandma's house, where I still reside at. Rest in peace to my grandma, Hattie Patterson. I miss that lady. But just being there. And I remember when I decided to stay there, I'm telling you, it had to be God's work. It had to be God's work. It had to be. Right? I said to myself, I'm like, yeah, I'm staying. I said to myself, like, yeah, I'm staying. I'm not going back to South Dakota. I'm staying. And no less than 20 seconds as I made that decision, my grandma walks in the door and said, "Are you staying here?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm staying." She said, "Okay, you got Lewis's room upstairs. That's my cousin. God rest, who's no longer here. God rest his soul. You got Lewis's room upstairs, and you need a job. You gonna get a job." I was like, "All right, I guess I'm gonna get a job, no doubt." But lo and behold, hey, bro, ain't nothing wrong with dreaming, Max. Ain't nothing wrong with dreaming. Dream on, brother. I never met a person who didn't have a dream. In fact, even people who gave up on their dreams, they still think about their dreams. Like, the dreams don't leave you. You feel me? If you don't pursue the dream don't leave you. It's better to pursue the dream and see if it's for you or not for you than to not do it at all. You feel me? So keep dreaming, Max. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for sticking around in the chat, you dig, and for posting comments, brother. I appreciate that. God bless you, brother. God bless you. And I hope God blesses your dream. Hope it's a good dream. Hope it's a positive dream. Hope it's a loving dream and a caring dream. And hope it's a dream that'll take you all around the world if possible. You understand? So I hope that for you, Max, you know. But yeah, we all got dreams. I'm chasing my dream now. Am I chasing my dream? I mean, I'm living my dream. You know, living in DC has allowed me to do a lot, you know. It's allowed me to do a lot. It's allowed me to travel around the world. It's allowed me to work with Words Beats in Life, who's taken me to 2 countries. Um, I've met some of my greatest friends, some of my greatest allies. Um, had some memorable experience, you know. Hey, brother, if that's your dream, brother, keep pursuing it, bro. If that's your dream, Max, you know, keep dreaming on, brother. Keep dreaming on, brother. I'm a dream with you. God bless you, brother. God bless you. You know what I'm saying? Keep dreaming on. I want that dream for you too, brother. I want that dream for you too. You know, like definitely keep dreaming, brother. Don't give up. I don't even know what that means, right, in your situation, but don't give up. I don't know. I've always been told like the only way you're not gonna win is if you give up. If you give up, you definitely not gonna win. You feel me? But if you don't give up, you might win and you might not, but you don't know. You know? Hey, bro, I hear you. I mean, I'm reading your comments, and there are people who are in wheelchairs for so. You already know. Says Flex. What up, Los? What up, Los? Shout out to my man Los, who is Los, who gave me some dope beats, who gave me, and I'm finishing a verse to it right now. You know, but yo, keep dreaming, bro. Keep dreaming. You know, you ain't the only person. There've been people who have gotten out of wheelchairs. You feel me, Max? There's people who got out of wheelchairs. So, and those people ain't unicorns. It ain't just one person. It's quite a few people. So if they can do it, most likely, there's a possibility that you can do it. So don't give up at all. And shout out to my man Los, bro. Yo, bro, I'm right into that, bro. I'm working on the verse, bro. I really like the verse I wrote to you. I'm really liking the verse, bro. I'm really feeling the verse, and I know you said you might get some other people on the joint. Um, Thank you, Max. I appreciate you subscribing, Max. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Salute, man. Salute. Send me a message, bro. Let's start. Yo, send me a message, bro. Follow me on Instagram too. My Instagram is Flex Mathews, FlexMathews. Follow me on Instagram. Let's start chatting, man. Let's stay connected. Let's stay in contact, bro. You know what I'm saying? Let's let's not let this conversation, you know, or this energy or this positivity like fizzle out, you know? Like I'm here every Sunday, I'm here every Thursday at 9 p.m. You know, but like bro, but after 9 p.m. the energy ain't gotta fade, bro. We can still stay in contact. We can still keep building. We can still keep trading ideas. We can still keep sharing positive energy with each other. So don't let it fizzle out, bro. Hit me on the gram, you know, and we can still keep the chat going, you know. You know, right now we're, you know, on my Instagram page, I got some things. I'm working on a new album and stuff. So yeah, bro. Max, if you rap, you know, let's make some music. You know, yeah, bro. Let's make some music if you rap. You know, or if you sing or whatever, bro. Let's make some music. I'm all about making music, bro. You know, and you ain't got to be the greatest. You ain't got to be the nicest. As long as you got a passion to make music, we can do it, brother. I believe that. So yeah, I'm just here talking about my journey, man. That's all. I'm just on here talking about my journey and pushing and pushing and pushing. And I'm gonna go home and work on some music. Nice, brother. I'd love for you to make some music, brother. Let's connect, bro. Let's connect, man. Yeah, yeah. Let's connect. You know, I don't collab much, but it's not that I'm opposed to collabing. It's just that I write so much that I'm just in my brain. I'm just let me finish the song. You know, I'll finish the song. And once I finish the song, I'll be like, oh, I can take a verse off of this song and I put the homie on here. I Shorty if she want to sing on this joint. You know what I'm saying? Like something like that. You know? So am I high? Nah, that's just how I look. Nah, that's just how I look. But God bless you. Thank you for chewing. Thank you for hopping in the chat, Chris. I appreciate you, brother. You know, I be looking high. People ask me if I'm high all the time. In high school, I used to get in trouble a lot. I used to get in trouble a lot because teachers thought that I was high. That I thought that I was high. Hall monitors thought I was high. The security guards thought I was high. I'm just like, nah, man. This is just how I look, bro. You know, I'm just like, dang. I just how I look. You know. And then I was just, it kind of bothered me for a little while. But after a while, now I just accept it. But there's just so many photos of me. People be like, are you hot? And I see it. I look at the photos and I'm like, dang, I do look hot. I look real hot. You know, but at the end of the day, I don't smoke weed, bro. I don't drink. I don't do no substances. I just play video games and rap. I play way too many video games. I just beat Elden Ring. I don't know if y'all kind of video games y'all into. You know, I just beat Elden Ring. I'm really into the Soulsborne situation, the Souls series. You know, so Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3. Elden Ring. I just started playing Bloodborne. So, but I got an album to write too, so I gotta unhook my PlayStation when I get home, unfortunately. And just put that in the closet and just get to rapping and keep rapping and keep rapping and keep rapping. I got a deadline I gotta meet, you know? So, anywho, I'm gonna head up out of here, fellas. But I just wanted to try to give y'all some backstory on my life and on my situation. I hope y'all stay cool, y'all stay safe. Sorry for being late today, but I came nonetheless. God bless you all. Stay cool. My name is Flex Mathews. This is Says Flex. One love, one love, one love. Peace.